This Bible verse explains why Islamic countries are always at war: Sunni vs Shia, Arabs vs Israel. Have you ever wondered why the Middle East and many Islamic nations have never known lasting peace? Or why Israel and Palestine, along with other Arab countries, have been locked in a century-long struggle, unable to resolve their differences? Have you ever asked yourself why Sunni and Shia Muslims continue to be at odds with each other? These conflicts can be traced back to a prophecy from God made many years ago, one that has echoed through the centuries, shaping the lives of the descendants of Ishmael, who continue to live in a constant state of tension and strife. This prophecy is boldly written in the pages of the Christian Holy Bible. Before we dive deeper into the significance of this prophecy and its lasting impact, I want to welcome you to our newly launched channel. We're so glad you're joining us on this exciting journey. Here you'll find captivating and thought-provoking content created with love and dedication just for you. We want you to feel right at home and enjoy every moment of the stories we share. To help us grow and keep bringing you high-quality videos, please consider subscribing to our growing channel and don't forget to like and share our videos. Your support means the world to us and helps us build our little community. God bless you as you do. Now, let's dive in. Hagar never asked for any of this. She was simply a servant caught up in the plans of her master and mistress. But on one hot, dusty day, everything changed for Hagar and her unborn son. Hagar was an Egyptian servant in the household of Abram and Sarai, later known as Abraham and Sarah. Sarai, unable to have children, was filled with frustration and pain. In her desperation to have an heir, Sarai made a decision that would change the course of history. She asked her husband, Abram, to sleep with Hagar so that they could have a child through her. Hagar became pregnant, but things only became more complicated. Sarai's jealousy grew, and she treated Hagar so harshly that Hagar fled into the wilderness. It was there, in the desolate desert, that an angel of the Lord appeared to Hagar with a message. This was no ordinary message. It was a prophecy that would not only define Hagar's life, but also shape the lives of her descendants and millions of people throughout history. The angel told Hagar to return to Sarai and submit to her, but he also revealed a stunning prophecy about her son, Ishmael. He will be a wild donkey of a man, the angel said. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him, and he will live in hostility toward all his brothers. Genesis 16:12. These words were strange and unsettling, but as history unfolded, they would prove to be eerily accurate. Before we explore the meaning behind this prophecy, let's take a closer look at who Ishmael was and why his story is so significant. Ishmael was the firstborn son of Abram, later renamed Abraham, the father of three major world religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. However, Ishmael was not born to Abraham's wife, Sarah, but to Sarah's servant, Hagar. This difference played a pivotal role in how Ishmael's life, and the lives of his descendants, unfolded. When Ishmael was born, he was Abraham's only son, and, traditionally, Ishmael was set to inherit everything from his father Abram. However, when Sarah miraculously gave birth to Isaac, God made it clear that Isaac, not Ishmael, would be the son through whom his promises to Abraham would be fulfilled. This created a deep divide, setting the stage for tension and conflict between the two brothers, Ishmael and Isaac, as well as their descendants. The prophecy given to Hagar was rich in meaning, and it's important to break it down to truly understand its implications. First, the angel declared that Ishmael would be a wild donkey of a man. In the ancient world, a wild donkey symbolized freedom, independence, and a life lived outside the control of others. Unlike domesticated animals, a wild donkey roamed wherever it pleased, unrestricted. By describing Ishmael this way, the angel was saying that Ishmael and his descendants would live on the fringes of civilization, free-spirited, independent, and often at odds with the settled societies around them. The next part of the prophecy is even more unsettling. The angel said that Ishmael's hand would be against everyone, and everyone's hand would be against him. This foretold that Ishmael would live a life filled with conflict. He and his descendants would constantly find themselves in disputes and battles. This has proven true in the history of the Arab people, who, according to tradition, are descended from Ishmael. Throughout history, the Arab world has been marked by conflict, not just with other nations, but also within itself. Tribal warfare, land disputes, and struggles for power have shaped the Middle East. The angel's words to Hagar seem to have reverberated through time, as the descendants of Ishmael have lived in a perpetual state of strife. The final part of the prophecy revealed that Ishmael would live in hostility toward his brothers. This referred directly to his relationship with Isaac, the son born to Abraham and Sarah and their descendants. While both Ishmael and Isaac were sons of Abraham, their legacies took very different paths. Isaac became the father of Jacob, later known as Israel, and his descendants became the Jewish people. On the other hand, Ishmael's descendants are traditionally viewed as the ancestors of the Arab people. The rivalry between these two brothers wasn't merely a personal one. It evolved into a conflict that shaped the course of history for millennia. This wasn't just a family squabble. It became the foundation of a much larger ongoing conflict. The descendants of Isaac, the Jewish people, and the descendants of Ishmael, the Arab people, have been at odds for thousands of years. While there are many political, economic, and religious reasons behind these conflicts, many see them as part of the fulfillment of the prophecy spoken to Hagar long ago. Throughout history, this tension has manifested in wars, territorial disputes, and religious battles between the descendants of Ishmael and Isaac. The ongoing conflict between Israel and its Arab neighbors is deeply rooted in the ancient rivalry between Ishmael and Isaac. This centuries-old tension is especially evident in the battle for control of the land of Israel, particularly Jerusalem, with both Jews and Arabs claiming it as their rightful inheritance. The prophecy given by the angel to Hagar about Ishmael, thousands of years ago, provides a direct explanation for the struggles that continue to unfold in the Middle East today. The angel's words seem to have foretold a future of conflict and hostility, which has played out on the world stage ever since. Right now there are several wars raging in the region. The Israel-Hamas conflict, which has escalated significantly since 2023, has caused devastating casualties, especially in Gaza. Other Arab nations, including Lebanon through Hezbollah and Syria, are indirectly or directly involved due to their alignment with Palestinian factions. Syria's civil war, ongoing since 2011, continues to simmer, though at a lower intensity. The Syrian government, under Bashar al-Assad, is engaged in battle with various rebel factions, including ISIS and Kurdish forces, with external involvement from countries like Russia, Iran, and Turkey. Meanwhile, Yemen has been locked in a brutal civil war since 2015, primarily between the Houthi rebels and the Saudi-led coalition supporting Yemen's internationally recognized government. This conflict has caused a severe humanitarian crisis, displacing millions and resulting in widespread famine and countless deaths. War has long been a fixture in the Middle East. While the prophecy provides a spiritual or symbolic explanation for the tensions between the descendants of Ishmael and Isaac, it's also important to note that Ishmael's descendants were also given promises by God. In Genesis 17:20, God tells Abraham that he will bless Ishmael and make him the father of a great nation. In conclusion, the angel's words to Hagar were more than just a message for one woman and her son. They were a prophecy that would shape the destinies of entire nations and regions. The conflict between the descendants of Ishmael and Isaac has played out over millennia, from ancient times to the present day. The prophecy not only helps us understand the deep historical and spiritual roots of the Middle East's struggles, but it also reminds us that these challenges are part of a much larger story, a story of family, faith, and the pursuit of a promised inheritance.